Steve, you were out of the room there. Carl took a phone call from someone.
Okay.
He's found a cellmate.
Right.
Not a soulmate. I think one day they will be cellmates.
Yes.
Because he's just like, he loves everything Carl loves, and he was telling Carl stuff, and Carl's face was lighting up.
Yeah.
He's told him of 2 Russian kids in the circus. They're covered in hair, and their mum tells them off because they're covered in fleas. Carl said, "See, that annoys me again, innit? They do something else." And the bloke went, "Yeah, they should just make money out of being hairy." And Carl went, "Exactly." And he said, "Have you heard of the 3-legged juggler?" And the bloke went, "No, what's that?" He went, "That annoys me as well." Because he thinks they shouldn't have done juggling, they should have done football.
Do you know what I mean, though, Steve?
What do you mean a 3-legged juggler? What are you talking
He's a
about?
famous 3-legged juggler.
Oh, he's mega famous. He's like the Beckham of wherever he's from.
But the other day I was looking in, I don't know, Bizarre magazine or something, right? And there was this fella who, he had no arms. So you saw a picture of him, his job was fixing watches, did it with his feet.
Go on.
Well, it's just, why pick the most hardest job to do when you haven't got any hands? Crush grapes. Or... Do you know what I mean? That annoys me.
Oh, crush grapes! Imagine him being told that, and he comes into the careers advisory where they go, "Now, what do you want to do, Hargreaves? Make watches? Right, take a look at your arms. Crush grapes, mate. Sorry, you're a grape crusher. Next." Brilliant. Brilliant. I would love you to be a career advisory in some sort of clinic. It'd be brilliant.
I like the fact that it annoys you. Here's a man, he's got no arms, he has learned to fix watches with his feet.
Yeah.
An incredible talent, incredible skill, he's utilising that brilliantly. That's annoying to you. You are angered by it.
I'm only being honest. Now, you be honest, right? Your watch is broke. Who would you go to? You're in a rush. You need it fixing in a rush. Now, you need some fresh wine.
Be honest.
Oh, you're amazing.
But what's this thing that you've been talking about, this video?
Freaks, right. It was a thing that was banned for like 50 years. I think it's been taken off again, but I don't know why, if it's just been deleted, right? It's a quest. If anyone out there has got a copy of Freaks on DVD or VHS, can Carl borrow it, please? I mean, I almost want to set up a camera to see him watching it. It's absolutely real. They used people in the circus of the time. I think it's the 20s or 30s of the Depression. And there's people, there's coneheads, there's a bearded lady, all genuine. There's a bloke they call the Human Slug who's got no arms and no legs, Carl. And he's just there, and he rolls a cigarette and lights it with his mouth.
I think I've seen his brother, who isn't called the Human Slug, is called the Pillow.
Right. How does he make a living?
He, Does anyone want to meet Carl for money? Do you know what I mean?
The annoying thing was, right, there was a picture of him, I was going to put it on
I think I've seen his brother.
on our website, we put things up like this, right? If you go to ricky.gervais at xfn.co.uk /
What? You put things like that on my website? It's nothing to do with me. I want people to know that that website is not kept or looked at by me. So, what have you put on there?
There's a fella on there who's known as the Pillow. And he's, you see, I get a bit worried with things like this, because we're not sort of having a go or anything, it's just things that
Fascinate
me.
you.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's a guy, it might be the same sort of thing. What's your one
I
called?
bet you used to stare at people with goiters, didn't you, when you were little? In Tesco's.
Well, just go to xfm.co.uk / Ricky, it is.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen on, like, a human face?
You know what it is, and
What
I
is
don't want
it?
to talk about it.
I can't remember. Have you
No.
told me?
Yeah.
What is it?
But go,
It's not
go
the
to,
elephant lady
Go
that used
to
to-
the... Yeah.
Is it the elephant lady? You talked about that, I know.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it again. Go to the website and see the Human Pillow.
Why is he a human pillow?
That's what annoyed me. I thought he was more of a draft excluder.
Things are flying here at XFM. People have called in. There is a video of Freaks on the way. Carl's going to see that within the week. That's exciting. That's exciting for me. Do you know what I mean? About our education of Carl. We started off trying to teach him about science and history, and now we just find that he likes pictures of hairy Chinese kids and
Who
women.
doesn't?
Who doesn't? No, true. You've got a theory about pictures of freaks, haven't you?
You see, you always bring things up that I don't want to talk about, because I'm really worried that people, if you've just tuned in for the first time, it's the first time you hear it, and we're talking about hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Talking about the human worm.
Carl, listen. People don't think that you're taking the piss out of those people. They lump you in with them. Do you know what I mean? They think that you're a freak of nature. So you can say anything you want. Do you know what I mean? Because it's honest, it's from the heart, it's genuine. So... don't worry about that.
Yeah, but Suzanne was saying last night that I've got a heart of stone, or whatever it is.
Why?
Because I wasn't crying at Comic Relief. And all I always used to say to her, get out Elephant Man, let me watch that for 30 minutes, I'll be crying my heart out.
Why? Why do you care about that but not...
Because it's... That is more real, isn't it, right? Think of John Merrick.
Sorry. What, the film starring John Hurt... is more real than footage of starving people in Africa?
No, but what I'm saying is, think about... See, this is why I didn't want to bring it up, because people are going to just say...
Well, you're allowed to cry at what you like. People can't have you for not crying at someone and crying at someone else.
Imagine that, like, if you've seen the film, you know, his head's all, you know, messed up and that.
Yeah.
He's getting picked on all the time.
Yeah.
By Michael Elphick, I remember.
Yeah. It's just really, really sad. Whereas, you know, we're trying to help
But
out
you give him a bun
people.
and he forgets it.
Do you know what I mean, though?
He never forgets, Rick.
Oh, dear.
Anyway.
Oh, God.
We're giving away stuff again.
Yeah.
Time
Tell
for
me
the
your theory about freaks who have their picture taken.
No, I'd leave it.
No, can I tell
we'll
you?
do it next week, then.
Can I tell you what this is?
Go on, quickly, what is it?
Right, when he sees a little picture, like in these books he's got, he carries round those things, right? And there's like a fella with a little head with some like able-bodied people. He goes, the only reason he must know the only reason they got to take that picture, right, was so they could show their mates, say, look at me, the little fella with a little head. That's his theory.
Yeah. So every picture of a freak, they're
Right,
being
Steve, let me describe the picture to you. This little fella with a little head,
right,
playing on the piano.
I've seen it.
All his family stood around and mates and that. When have you ever seen a picture of someone playing the piano and everybody wants to be in on it? Doesn't happen.
Maybe it was one of those kind of Christmas cards they sent out to everyone.
It wasn't. You could see one of them was like in a rush to go away. He was probably planned to go out, and he was like, "But they were taking a picture." It's, "Oh, I'll be in it then before I go out," and it was all. It's out of order.
Yeah.
If you say, do you know the one?
I do know the one you mean. Yeah.
There you go,
What about the one in the when you went down to Cornwall in that little
We'll talk
pub?
about that next week.
What you want to get on, do you? Yes,
We've
Dave.
also got a new feature, Cheeky Freak of the Week. We haven't done Cheeky Freak of the Week.
That's a new feature, isn't it?
That's a new feature.
Cheeky Freak of the Week. Let's do Cheeky Freak of the Week. What is the cheekiest freak of the week? So I'm just going to apologise now. I've just had freaks. Sorry to freaks. Okay, right, go ahead.
Well, I say it's a new feature, but we've sort of touched on it in the past with
We always talk about freaks.
Hairy Chinese Kid.
Yeah.
We've had the Pillow Man.
Yeah. Oh, you called a draft excluder?
Just make a note of that, would you, Rick? On the
Yeah.
list?
People without arms and legs.
But at least, you see, the Pillow Man, what do you picture? Because I was saying to Ricky in the week, right, I'm a great fan of the Elephant Man.
That's his. Do you know that's his favourite freak?
Of
the
all
Elephant
the
Man.
freaks, that's
Do
it.
you know why he said? Do you know why he said? He said because you get what you pay for. When someone says the Elephant Man, you get what it says on the tin. Right. You know you're going to get it.
Yeah. Do you imagine, Steve, if you had a mate and you said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to see my mate." And you go, "Which mate?" And he said, "The Elephant Man."
Yeah.
Straight away, you haven't even met him, but you know what he's going to look like.
Yes.
Right? That's what I like about that. Hairy Chinese Kid.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get.
Pillow Man.
Yeah.
Not so good.
What does that mean?
It could be one of those big fat things on that show, couldn't it? A big pillow, like a.
Yeah.
You know, they had that big thing about the fat people and feeders. They were getting up to like 60 stone and that big one. And there's a thing called fat admirers that just fancy fat women, right? And
You writing that down?
yeah, sorry, and they had blow up versions. It looked like a bouncy castle.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. You'd be knackered when you blew that up.
Yeah,
you just wouldn't want to go and forget it.
Yeah.
Oh God,
That's
I
people being cruel as well, isn't it? Because after watching the programme on Channel 4 about the fat people and fellas who like them and stuff, there was a story on one of the news websites about some fella in Germany, right? He was a big fella, must have been about 50 stone, and he fell over, right? And I think he hurt his ankle or something. And
Timber.
they sent firemen instead of, like, an ambulance.
Yeah.
So straight away they're having a bit of a laugh.
They're not. No, they've got winching gear.
Well, they didn't know. They didn't have winching gear. They had to use the hose pipes
What?
to carry him out. I think it was Anna Nova, that news website. They had to use the hose pipes, so they made like a bed using the hose pipes
Oh yeah.
and had to carry him out on that. And then they had to sort of get him into a special truck, they said, and do the same when they got to the hospital. I mean, that's a bit...
That's mad, isn't it?
They shouldn't do that.
Although, Carl, I'm loving that story. I'm just worried that we're not going to be able to fit in Cheeky Freak of the Week.
What's
So
the
which is
Cheeky
one
Freak
you've
of the week?
nominated?
Alright, Cheeky Freak of the Week. Something I found on the net.
Yeah.
Fella who had 27 toes and fingers.
In a jar.
No, still on him. And proper ones as well, not like little stumps and that. Proper, fully formed fingers. He
Was
had
it-
like...
Was he a pianist? Close-up magician.
I don't know what he did. He just said that he was...
Cat's cradle professional.
Did he ever work on finger bobs?
He was saying in the week,
For the crowd scenes.
I'm now going to do Braveheart. He said about the Elephant Man. He said, I want to do a thing right with freaks where it's good and bad. He went, what you said? The pro about him is
What about the fella with loads of fingers, or...?
no, the Elephant Man.
Well, he...
He said the bad thing is he stretches his jumpers.
When he puts them on. Yeah. And what's the good thing?
Sort of... He never gets up and goes, oh, my hair's a bit of a mess today.
No. He's always having another bad face day.
I'd like to complain about this head and shoulders. Are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So that's freaky...
Didn't you see an elephant woman in Manchester?
Yeah, leave that.
What do you mean, leave it?
No, because it is sad.
I know it's sad, but I mean, I don't know what my next sentence is.
You know, people always
That
think...
should be the end.
Did
I don't need
oh,
to say anymore, people will know what she looks like. It's a good name for her.
did she like buns? Oh dear.
It was when my dad was a taxi driver and he used to sit in the front,
Yeah.
and she used to get a lot of taxis.
Yeah.
And,
And he only charged you half price, didn't he? He was a good guy.
well, the bad thing is as well with people like that, you don't want to offend them because they never forget.
Oh, go!
But,
Go, Pilkington!
I was sat in the front of the cab and my dad goes, right, we're going to go and pick the, I can't even tell you the name of these guys, it's just evil.
What do you
Right?
mean?
No, leave it, so she's got...
No!
No,
Carl!
please.
Tell me what he said!
No.
You've already stitched him up with Stephen things from Little Welsh
I don't
Fellas.
care.
Right, what did he call her?
Steve, back
No!
me up on this, I really
Carl,
don't want
to be
to...
fair, our opinion of him is already pretty low.
Look, tell me what he said.
No, it's not, I'm scared of what my dad gets, it's the person who's got... the
She's
thing
not
wrong.
listening, is she?
Well, her headphones wouldn't fit on her head.
Tell me what he called her.
I don't want to.
Tell me what he called her, Carl. I'm getting angry, man. Tell me what he called her.
No, I'll leave that. Honestly,
Tell me what he...
It doesn't matter.
Tell me what he called her. Carl, just... I'm gonna
Steve.
go...
Seriously, I want to
Right,
know what he called her.
right, you're not gonna stop this show. We're not doing the next show until you tell me what he called her.
What did your father call the elephant head woman?
Tell me.
Spudhead.
How old were you?
I don't know, about 9.
Did you laugh?
So did you expect to see a potato with a dress?
He did sort of, again, it's a good name. Do you know what I mean? I had an idea of what it was going to be about, and he said, do you want to stay in the car? I'll take you home, because you
Spudheads, you got lovely eyes.
can't.
Carl just remembered, we've got Cheeky Freak of the Week to fit in.
Cheeky
I don't know
Freak
what
of
to
the
do. What's your Cheeky Freak of the Week, quickly? Just throw that away.
Right, well, it's just like, you know, we look at cheeky freaks.
Is this show offensive in any way to some people, do you think?
Ding dong.
Got any buns? Oh, it's the Elephant Man. Go on.
Right, well, it's a bit of a problem for you, this one, Steve, right? I'm chucking it forward to you. Remember the Cheeky Freak of the Week that we were talking about? That illness where people age quicker?
The 5-year-old girl that was older than her mum, and he said to you, what, if you ran off like you wouldn't serve her fags and beer? And you went, no. He went, why not? And you went, because it's a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? He went, oh, she's got enough problems, give us some fags. You remember that, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah, right.
So, another dilemma for you. right? Picture this, you're running a restaurant, right? Door goes, right? Few people, most of them look normal. You notice the woman at the back, crawling on all fours. Top half is woman, right? This is real.
Yes.
This isn't like a comic or anything. This is on,
Yeah,
it's on the internet.
I've seen it. They're called dog people, and her legs just come straight down. They're like little, just with legs at the back, and so they walk on all fours because it's easier.
Dog people, right?
Yeah, not
got
dog people. They're human beings
Alright.
with deformed back legs, so they walk. It's easier for them to get around like that because they can't stand up because they can't stabilise, and also it comes straight out of their hips. Right.
So you're running a restaurant, it's a busy night, you haven't really got time for any hassle. She comes in. Would you serve her?
The premise being what? That he doesn't serve dogs.
Because the restaurants don't allow animals in.
Right. Right.
So it's a dilemma.
It's not a dilemma. She's not a dog. She's a human being.
Yeah,
with
I put, you know, a plate of meatballs on the floor, and she tucks in. And a little glass of, you know, a little bowl of wine next to it.
He turns round, there's the woman older than...
Get away from that plant!
Have we got a cheeky freak of the week?
Do you want one?
Yeah.
I think we should have a jingle for this.
Okay, I've got a jingle. It's very similar to chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. So, cheeky
Okay.
freak of the week. You've spotted a
This
freak
is where somewhat, I think, offensively, you pick on someone who's not like other people and say it's your favourite freak of that week.
Yeah,
I remember we had the woman whose legs look like the hind legs of a dog. We've had the little fella with the aging disease with the little head playing the piano. That was your favourite. I think that's your probably freak of the year, isn't it?
It's a pretty good one.
So what's this? Is it a man with a horrendous injury, or is it a congenital birth defect, or what?
Yeah, but you put it like that, and now it sounds like I'm being tight. Sounds like I'm being out of order. But I'm just giving him a mention.
Just giving him a big shout out.
Right. There's quite a lot going on in the freak world.
There always is.
You've been visiting hospitals the last week, have you, when we were away?
No, there was a thing on a website. This isn't even the one that I've picked, so...
So this is just a bonus?
This is a bonus freak.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
This is a free freak, right? It's a fella called the Lobster Man.
The Lobster Man, of course.
Again, good name, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get?
He's got-
Some succulent meat
I like the idea
with...
that the vicar on the christening suggested that. I know you want to call him Mark. Can I make a suggestion? Look at his hands.
What's his name? Mark Michael Webster. Right. Right. Yeah.
Have you thought about a nickname?
Not really. No. Have you? No,
Have you looked at his hands?
Yeah. We don't want to talk about that because
You know, they look a little bit
it's
like
quite
lobsters.
well, yeah, but it's quite deformed. It's like, you know, we
Can I
can't.
suggest Lobster Man?
That's terrible, Vicar. That is terrible, Vicar. We're
Pinchy.
Go on then. We're gonna see. This is what the sort of feature you come up with, Carl.
So, Lobster Man.
There's probably people listening now with, you know, lobster feet.
Lobster hands.
So,
Squid boy.
So, Lobster Man, what does Lobster Man do? Does he fight crime?
not that much.
Okay.
Apparently he got into a bit of trouble. He was in a restaurant, and this was years ago, by the way.
And someone picked him to eat him.
No, so apparently the waiter said, "Oh, you shouldn't be sat here. You should be in my pan or something."
Oh dear.
And they had a fight, got out of hand,
Yeah.
Got out of claw.
and yeah. So that was.
What do you mean
that
they had
was
a fight? What did he
do?
A waiter took the mickey out of someone with...
No.
Now, can I just make clear? I'm assuming his hands look a bit like those of a lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fused, so it's just like two big fingers. They're
Right.
fused, I assume, probably in the womb, and they're just like, instead of like having
Yeah,
five
yeah,
digits, they're fused, and it... But he can pick stuff up, can't he?
Yeah.
What does he pick up? He mainly eats crabs and jellyfish, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was having a fight with the waiter. He snipped off his nose.
Right, so anyway,
He just held on to the waiter's bib.
Yeah,
And the
exactly,
waiter was
yeah.
screaming, go and get him off me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Does he eat other lobsters? Does he think he would eat lobster? Or is it kind of... would he feel bad about eating lobster?
Right.
the little cheek of the freak that we've gone for anyway.
The what?
the little freak of the week,
Yeah.
cheeky freak of the week. We've gone for this Siamese lad,
Okay.
right? Happened back in.
You can't have a Siamese lad, can you?
All right, yeah. This Siamese twins happened back in 1693.
Oh, he's got a date. Blimey, that's the first time ever.
Yeah. And all it was, he was doing all right for himself. He used to go on the like those circus things he used to do.
They're two people you're talking about, Carl. So we're going to him.
All right then. All right. They did this circus show, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going well. They're selling out the tents and stuff. People coming to see them.
Yeah.
He was doing all right for himself,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, before I said that, did you think a Siamese twin was a man with two heads?
Well, it can be, can't it? It depends. There's
There's
a
two
man.
people, they're conjoined.
No, but it depends, doesn't it? The one that I shown you in that book that time was a fellow with two heads.
No, it wasn't. That was a stupid picture in one of your stupid books that he had a growth that looked a little bit like it had a face on it. It wasn't a man with two heads. You're the same sort of people who send potato chips to restaurants and say, doesn't it look like Norman Cook?
Yeah.
It's not two heads.
We'll bin this feature.
No!
No, it's just...
They're two people. They're two people. Conjoined twins. Right, so these...
It's just that they just happen to have a similar taste in clothes. Okay.
Anyway, so they were doing all right, and it all went wrong when he crossed the road, got run over. The lad with two heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that cheeky freak of the week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you...
wasn't he looking both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you get run over. What was it, 1629?
Yeah. Well, it's horses and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, why wasn't he looking both ways? Karl Pilkington, you are a genius.
Like I say, it's been a struggle. We'll do that. We'll do cheeky freak of the week. Do you want to?
Oh, definitely. Should we do cheeky freak
we
of the
have
week?
cheeky freak of the
I
week?
can't wait. I'll always do these. I'd start off with these.
Alright, well, let's have the jingle for cheeky freak of the week.
Oh no.
Do you remember it?
No.
I remember it.
Oh. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant.
Something like that.
I want some more, because that was slightly half-hearted.
Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Excellent.
Right. This we're going back again.
Yeah, 17th century.
Well, it was 1829, right?
Oh, I'm impressed.
Now the problem is with cheeky freak of the week.
Not so much the week, is it? If you're going back to 1829.
Well,
Not even of the century. You haven't even done cheeky freak of the century.
there's
What's the problem with cheeky freak of the week?
just because.
Other than the sort of moral implications.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, last week it was a fellow with two heads.
Yeah.
We've done Siamese twins. It's Siamese twins again.
Oh, it's
No, it was Siamese
again.
twins. It wasn't a fellow with two heads last week. It was Siamese twins. Conjoined twins, sorry. They're two different people. This is what I'm telling you.
But this is the problem. They're going to crop up quite a lot just because they've got double a chance. Alright?
Oh, please don't write in and complain. He knows not what he does. You understand, don't you? Carl will actually feature one day in this section.
Yeah.
So, right, go on,
Well,
Carl.
we're going back to 1829.
Yeah.
All the way back there to
This is a
1829.
retro conjoined twin link.
A couple of guys set up a business. They were called Chang and Ang.
Oh, they're the first. That's why they're called Siamese twins, because they wasn't that what it was based on? Those two, Chang and Ang.
Was it?
The original, yeah. That's why they're called Siamese twins, 'cause I think they were Siamese.
So these are the first ones.
Well, they're not the first ones, but they're the
First
ones
one.
that got to fame, I think, and why people started calling them. People started calling them conjoined twins, Siamese twins. I think I'm right there.
Anyway.
Good. Well, the sort of set up business, sort of going round the US
Well, both of them.
and Europe, yeah.
Yeah.
And what they used to do, people were amazed by it anyway. But
Yeah.
people wanted to know how they get through life doing certain things that you think about. When you think about Siamese twins, you think about, how do you get through a day like that?
Yeah.
And the thing that cropped up the most with people was how they take a bath. So they used to go on tour around the US and Europe and sit in a bath, have a wash and that, and
Did they ever wash each other by mistake? They go, oh, that ends there, like those things in supermarkets. They put one of those down, we go, oh.
what do you mean?
Put that there.
What do you mean?
You know the things on the conveyor belt, the little
dividers.
yeah.
They wind me up, those dividers. Sorry, I said a complete tangent, but for some reason, it's my own psychosis, but I get so annoyed if I'm in a supermarket, I've got my shopping, I'm just about to get served, and you can always see there are certain people who stand behind you getting edgy, itchy, worried that I'm not going to put the divider down to separate my shopping from theirs. It's like they're terrified that I'm somehow going to deliberately pay for their shopping.
Sneaking their onion.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get an onion, I'll have that. And it's just, but what annoys me is it's not so much that, obviously it's a practical thing, it's the fact that they get a little bit edgy. You can actually see, certainly kind of, dare I say it, certain breed of woman and a certain breed of fella will just get a little bit itchy, a little bit edgy, and they just look at you, can just see them sweating, especially if they can't reach.
I just lean over and do it myself.
Well, I know, but it's the thing is that it's like they almost feel that they ought to wait for me to do it, as though somehow it's my obligation. And it just for some reason, I know it's ludicrous, but it really annoys me. And I actually deliberately don't put the divider down just to see them sweat.
I like the way that they're actually quite well made. There's some that are brass with like a felt bottom.
Yeah.
Like you really care. Like a twig would do, wouldn't it? Do you know
Exactly.
what I mean?
But I just leave a slight gap. And then when it gets to when the woman's putting it through the till or the guy, I just say, that's my stuff.
Do you ever look at other people shopping and go, oh, I should have got that?
Often.
Oh,
yeah.
that's annoying.
I'll tell you what it is, it's the same thing, and again, it's my psychosis. When people, if you're on a bus or a train, and we're pulling into the stop, but there's a good, kind of 35 seconds before we're actually going to come to a halt, they leap up, and they're straight by the door.
Yeah.
But it's this fear that they're going to miss out. Oh my god, what if I fell over now and broke my ankle? I'd never get out.
To be fair, I've never had that commuter's worry. I've never commuted, but every second counts, doesn't it? Because you miss a train, it can make a difference of half an hour. So that's why commuters literally run to get their connections.
But the thing is that with a bus, there's often there'll be people who are sat right next to the exit, will get up and stand up for a while, waiting to get out. It just, again, I'm not saying it's not, it makes perfect sense to them. It's my psychosis.
They're going to be mowed down in the streets.
They will just be a few of
You're going to be in a lovely Chrysler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I will be going straight through a branch of Waitrose.
Yeah.
Taking people out in the
So we do not condone going through Waitrose in a Chrysler.
In a car.
Now, Changanang, they're in the bath. They're washing their own bits. They got one of those dividers, right? They go, well, that's definitely yours. I marked mine. That's definitely mine. Don't wash that, Chang. I wouldn't, Ang. I wouldn't wash that. Right? So what are they doing? They're in the bath. Carry on with the story.
That's about it, really. I mean, that's the fact that people.
So two little Oriental fellas joined in the hip, had a bath.
No.
That's your story.
No, they didn't have a bath. They must have done some sort of research, right?
Who?
Changanang, right? And they said, well, what do people want to see?
Isn't that Bay City Rollers song?
But it's an idea that people have queued up, they've paid their money, they're in a tent, well, I hear they're going to have a bath, Two Siamese people have a bath. How would they possibly do it? Well, I've heard they'd get into a bath.
But that's
I don't know
what they
what's
wanted to see
exciting.
them nude and where the join was.
No.
More than how do you get in the bath?
I don't know. That's what they picked. They said, what would be good to see? What do you want to see them do?
Having a bath.
How'd you get into trousers? Was there
Exactly, this is all part of it, isn't it? That's why they picked having a bath.
This is all part of it. Well, then watch them get dressed afterwards.
Yeah.
Who was the best out of Chang and Ang? Who was your favourite?
They both look the same, to be honest.
There's a surprise. One was a short ginger woman. Oh dear.
Is there anything what would be better than having a bath for you when you're seeing them? What would sort of make you go, oh, I wonder?
One of them pulling and the other one going home alone.
Yeah.
I go, look, she's definitely up for it. I'm taking her home. I go, oh, what am I going to do? Can I watch? Definitely not. Definitely not. Look, you go to bed. I want to wine and dine her.
But if he's got back to their place and they're going at it hammer and tongs, but only one of them.
No, hammer and tongs were their cousins.
Right.
They lived miles away.
Yeah. If one of them gets knackered, can the other one take over?
God, I think we play a record.
That annoys me.
What?
That sort of being at it all night.
What do you mean?
Let's put a song and I'll come back.
What do you mean?